Eunuchs in the Bible, Stories, Missions, and Prophecies. Hello, and a very warm and heartfelt welcome to our channel. Today, we are going to delve into a topic that is not very well known. Yet it is deeply fascinating, complex, and filled with profound spiritual, historical, and moral lessons. The eunuchs in the Bible. Many people may have heard the term eunuch, but very few truly understand who these men were, what their specific roles were within the ancient royal courts, and why their stories are so meaningful and impactful within the biblical narrative. In this video, we will explore this subject in detail, offering not only historical and biblical accounts, but also reflections and insights that can inspire and guide us in our lives today. Before we begin this incredible journey, make sure to like this video, share it with friends, family members, or anyone interested in history, spirituality, and biblical studies. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss any of the carefully prepared, thoroughly researched, and exclusive content we bring to you with great dedication and attention to detail. What is a eunuch? For those who are still unfamiliar, a eunuch is a man who has been castrated, meaning that his reproductive organ was removed. Historically, this practice could be performed for a wide range of reasons, depending on the cultural context, historical period, and the particular circumstances at the time. In some cases, castration was employed as a form of punishment, discipline, or retribution, used to impose severe consequences on an individual who may have committed a crime, disrespected authority, or needed to be brought under control. In other contexts, castration had a very specific functional purpose within the royal palace, allowing a man to serve the king, his wives, or other members of the royal family directly without posing any threat, challenging the throne, or being involved in political intrigue. In some cultures, eunuchs were chosen for their ability to preserve a high-pitched, pure voice, making them ideal for performing sacred songs, hymns, or ritualistic praises to the king or to the gods during important religious ceremonies. Thus, being a eunuch was not always a punishment or a mark of disgrace. Many times, it had a specific spiritual, practical, or functional purpose, connected either to the service of the king or to fulfilling sacred religious duties. These details remind us that the lives of eunuchs were often highly complex, multifaceted, and spiritually significant. Eunuchs and the prophecy of Isaiah. One of the most poignant and revealing stories in the Bible involves King Hezekiah and his descendants. When Hezekiah fell seriously ill, the king of Babylon sent emissaries with letters to inquire about his health and well-being. After Hezekiah miraculously recovered, he allowed pride and vanity to take over his judgment. In a display of what we might consider today an unwise or reckless act, he showed all the treasures of his kingdom to the Babylonian visitor, including the magnificent temple, sacred objects, and wealth that had been accumulated over many generations. It was at this moment that Isaiah delivered a prophecy. Behold, the days are coming when everything in your house, and all that your ancestors have stored up, will be carried off to Babylon. Nothing will remain of your possessions, and your descendants will become eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. This prophecy indicated that Hezekiah's sons and descendants would be taken as eunuchs, serving directly in the court of the Babylonian king. However, this condition was not merely a physical punishment or a loss. It also carried a profound spiritual mission, which they were meant to accomplish in the service of God and the kingdom. Among these descendants were wise and faithful individuals, such as Daniel and Hananiah. Despite their physical condition as eunuchs, they carried out extraordinary missions, resisting temptations, interpreting complex dreams, surviving blazing furnaces, and above all, sanctifying the name of God with unwavering faith, courage, and steadfast devotion. Even though their physical and social circumstances were restrictive, the Bible does not record that these men married or had children. Their lives were dedicated entirely to a sacred spiritual service, a mission that transcended ordinary human existence and the normal limitations of daily life. Other examples of eunuchs in the Bible: Noah, Ham, and Canaan. Few people realize that the story of Noah also includes elements that relate to curses and the control of lineage. After the flood, Noah planted a vineyard, and upon consuming its wine, he became intoxicated. His son Ham and grandson Canaan disrespected him in a grave and shocking manner, which led to Noah cursing Canaan. Some biblical scholars interpret these actions as symbolic representations of attempts to control the family inheritance and the succession of generations, highlighting the dangers of disobedience and the violation of established social and familial order. This episode demonstrates that, even within family contexts, extreme actions can have far-reaching consequences for future generations, influencing not only relationships but the destiny of entire lineages. Potiphar and Joseph. Potiphar. Another fascinating example is Potiphar, the Egyptian official who purchased Joseph. Potiphar became deeply infatuated with Joseph and, in an extreme decision, castrated himself, becoming a eunuch. In the Hebrew Bible, his name is altered to Potiphar, and the term phara in Hebrew means cut off or separated, indicating the deliberate act of self-castration. Potiphar, besides being a minister of Pharaoh, was also a priest connected to the practice of Egyptian idolatry. His castration served a dual purpose, preserving his position in the palace and maintaining his devotion, not only to Joseph but indirectly to the service of God. Even as a eunuch, he continued to exercise significant influence, demonstrating that a life physically limited can still hold immense spiritual meaning and lasting impact. The Book of Esther. In the Book of Esther, we encounter more examples of eunuchs. King Ahasuerus, or Xerxes, had numerous wives and concubines, and required men he could trust implicitly to serve directly in the palace. Their duties included supervising administration, clothing, meals, and the daily operations of the royal household. Many of these men became eunuchs, not only as punishment, but also as a form of loyal service to the king, ensuring that no threats or improprieties affected the royal family. This shows us that being a eunuch was not necessarily a mark of loss or disgrace. It could be a position of honor, responsibility, and trust, allowing these men to serve the king closely and securely, often with a spiritual dimension to their role. Isaiah's prophecy about eunuchs. Isaiah 56 delivers a profound message of hope and comfort for those who, because of circumstances beyond their control, could not form families or have children. As for the eunuch, who keeps my Sabbaths and chooses what pleases me, I will give him a place in my house, better than sons and daughters, an everlasting name that will never be forgotten. In other words, God promises that commitment to his commandments and spiritual faithfulness has eternal value, surpassing even biological lineage. A eunuch who dedicates himself to God with faith, love, and obedience receives a lasting and eternal legacy. This demonstrates that true human value is found in holiness, devotion, and spiritual service, rather than solely in family life or reproduction. Final reflection. The stories of eunuchs in the Bible teach us several powerful lessons. Even in difficult, painful, or limiting circumstances, it is possible to fulfill a remarkable divine purpose. Faithfulness, wisdom, and holiness can transform lives that, from a human perspective, might appear limited or insignificant. God values acts of devotion, service, and dedication to spiritual principles, granting eternal legacy to everyone who serves him with sincerity, courage, and a pure heart. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, so that more people can learn about these deep, inspiring, and profoundly meaningful biblical stories. May God bless you, your life, and your entire family abundantly. We will see you in the next video.